Hi, I'm Simon K. Jones. I made a video in 2023 called What Actually is Substack? Given how many times it's been watched recently, there still seem to be a lot of people wondering, what actually is Substack? This video is all about what actually is Substack in 2026. What's changed, what's stayed the same. Back in 2023, the first version of this video, I described Substack as a publishing platform for long-form writers combining the best bits of WordPress and MailChimp. Although those elements are still there, it's only a small part of the overall picture. In 2026, Substack is more a combination of WordPress, MailChimp, but also YouTube, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, X, Blue Sky, Discord, Patreon, TV, Twitch. I think that's about it for now. Point is, Substack has expanded massively in the number of features, number of people using it to publish stuff, and in audience numbers. When I did that first video, in 2023, Substack was still relatively unknown. Now it's become a powerful media channel in its own right. You'll find political commentators from across the political spectrum, journalists you might have actually heard of, previously seen on channels like BBC and CNN and other things with 3 letters. Major authors are here, as well as amateurs, beginners, semi-pros. So in terms of what you can actually do with it, and I'll take my publication as a practical example. I write serial fiction, which I publish every week. Subscribers get a new instalment of the story straight into their inboxes. New readers can browse the index and jump in wherever they like. I also publish thoughts on the writing process in the hope of them helping other writers going down a similar route. On top of that, I provide audio readings of my posts. I make videos like this one, which are available on my Substack publication, as well as on YouTube. I do the occasional live stream, talking about writing. Surprise, surprise. I've hosted interviews with other creators and designers. Back in 2023, all of that would have required investing a huge amount of time in multiple platforms. In 2026, I basically do it all through my Substack publication. Posts get sent out, audio is automatically distributed to the major podcast libraries, videos are co-published to YouTube. I'm able to do a lot without spending my entire week on boring admin. There are a lot of tools, then, but the fundamentals remain, and this bit is vitally important. If you publish on Substack, you own your audience. Your readers are subscribing to you, not to Substack. You're not renting the audience from a big tech company, and that means you can leave whenever you want. I can download my subscriber list and take it to another platform. And there are decent competitors too. Things like Ghost or Button Down or Beehive all offer robust newsletter and media publication services. MailChimp and ConvertKit still exist for more complicated newsletter setups. Patreon is obviously still a massive deal in the creator scene, although it's playing a little bit catch up, but having all these options can only be a good thing. It's a much healthier situation for everyone. If someone had any kind of success back in the day on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, TikTok, it meant they were increasingly locked into that platform. Leaving would mean losing your entire audience. And that also meant that audiences were locked in as well. The difficulty of leaving Twitter or Facebook has always been that all your friends are there, and if you're going to leave, you have to convince all of them to leave at the same time. If you use a platform like Substack or Ghost, your readers don't have to engage directly with the platform at all. They might not even know what you're using to send out your stuff. They subscribe to you, and your newsletters show up in their email inbox. And that's it. On that subject, email delivery, while far from perfect, remains the most reliable way to communicate directly on the internet. It has been for 30 years. Try to present your work on YouTube or X, Instagram, Facebook and so on, and you're in constant battle with the algorithm, which is far more interested in ads than it is in your work. Sending out newsletters directly to people who actually want to receive them just seems like a better way forward. Another important feature, you can make money on Substack. In theory, anyway. I mean, don't go getting too excited. We're still talking about writing. If you want to get rich, writing is generally not the way to do it. But if you want, you can paywall some or all of your posts. Subscribers can pay for access. Some writers make everything exclusive, others make everything free. I tend to keep everything free for about 6 months, while paid subscribers get access to the back catalogue. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. None of this guarantees any kind of success, of course. Think of Substack as a versatile toolkit. You probably won't use every single tool in the box, but it's useful to have the whole set. And it's still up to you to know how to build things. Substack has done a bit of work in this area, though, to help us find and connect with readers or viewers or listeners who might be interested. There's the recommendations system whereby writers can recommend each other to their readers. I've had 3,500 subscribers find me thanks to recommendations from other writers, and I've sent several thousand readers to other newsletters that I like. As long as you're recommending publications that are in the same general subject area or tone or whatever, some sort of connection there, everyone's a winner. Then there's Substack Notes, which is their equivalent to X or Blue Sky, or take your pick. It's a place to share work, write short form little notes, and primarily meet other writers and readers. There are no ads on Substack Notes. It encourages sharing of links, obviously to your Substack articles, but also to entirely external websites. Notes is an algorithmic feed, but with an interesting quirk. While you can follow people in the traditional social media sense, much of your experience is defined by the newsletters that you subscribe to. So I subscribe to a lot of fiction writers, which means that hanging out on Notes is like attending the world's biggest writer meetup. I'm sure there is a lot of talk about politics or finance or news, but I don't tend to see it unless I actually go hunting for it. The algorithm is far less interested here in forcing me down weird, unpleasant, unwanted rabbit holes. Notes doesn't have the sheer scale of Instagram, Facebook or X, but I'm fairly sure that the era of hyper-scaled social media is sort of coming to an end. Seeking massive numbers of followers turned out to not be much use anyway, especially when the platform holder can just tweak the algorithm and it all goes away. On Substack or other platforms that encourage direct communication with audiences, the numbers are smaller but more meaningful. So that's Substack in 2026. It's changing rapidly, and I'll likely need to do a new version of this video in about a year's time, but as long as they keep those fundamentals intact, we'll be fine. The ability to send newsletters directly to inboxes, and the freedom to take your list and go elsewhere. I've always said that the fact I can leave is a big part of why I stay.